Yeah, welcome back to the show. Y'all already know what that show is. Y'all getting the special edition of the Backport Sports Podcast with your kind of sort of disgruntled man, Fonz.
and you happy Quan, boy. I'm trying to
Yeah, I bet you are. so, thank
tell
y'all for tuning in. Quick thing. To everybody that watched our videos on last week, y'all made those videos blow up, and we appreciate you guys, really. But please, if you are watching, please hit that subscribe button, man. We trying to do big things, Especially we at the end of 2024, getting ready to go into 2025 and beyond, man. Y'all, let's make this tribe what it is, man, for real. But
yes, sir.
honestly, we do appreciate you guys.
Mhm.
If you are in the neighborhood, if you're on Facebook anywhere, just hit us up in the war room, the Bad Sports Podcast war room, that is, where we're always there. We always chopping it up. We always throwing jabs at each other, and and we do everything. What goes on in the war room, stay in the war room. That's why you need to go and get in there. So y'all
Yep.
go and get in the war room. All right. So as promised, we came back with a reaction show to the highly publicized rival game versus the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, my Quan, since you are the winner, I'm sure you won your $100. You said
Yes,
you,
mosquito, boy.
you won that Franklin.
Yes, let me tell you something.
So you can go ahead and share your reaction, please, sir. Then I will come back in with mine.
All right. So, as we all anticipated, when talking about the history between these teams, we knew it would be a nail biter type game. Very close as always. This 18 win defines a saying of by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So I want to talk about some things that happened with both teams that kind of, help us get to the winning moment. All right, so things that happened with the Ravens. All right, we had two missed field goals in the first half that pretty much left a touchdown on the board. Penalties was a heavy factor in this game overall on both sides, but the Ravens did have 12 penalties for 80 yards. Had some holding penalties that was called against them that killed some drives. Um, so when you go to, I think it's like the third quarter, the score was 10-15. Ravens throw a pick that Peyton Wilson magically did. I don't know how he did it because he was beat on the route,
Yeah, I
but
wouldn't call that a pick, but
he wrestled the ball out of his hands. And this
the
all
ball rained down.
happened. This all happened after the Ravens forced to pick on the Steelers that previous drive in the red zone. Um, so after that, it was a failed 2-point conversion call that possibly could have sent this game into overtime, like Fonz said it was. Some other things that there was three total turnovers, two that converted into field goals, which was the difference in this game. Some other things that happened that I feel like was hurtful was the Roquan Smith injury to the Ravens defense. I believe they defended the run very well, the run and the pass very well. Very shocking. But they defended it well, only giving up 3.6 yards out of 34 attempts of the Steelers. And Roquan Smith was on a high rise of 13 total tackles and 2 tackles for losses. Um, so yeah, that's some things that happened with the Ravens. Some things that happened with the Steelers. Steelers, of course. First statement is Boswell for MVP for the second straight game. This season, he has kicked 6+ field goals and we managed to win somehow. If anybody would have told me that we didn't have to win or score a touchdown to beat Baltimore, I probably wouldn't have believed that. But without Boswell, we lose this game, which leads me to my second point. I don't know if this is just a bad game or a bad look for us. Steelers offense only produced 9 points on ensuing drives. Wilson completed 1 out of 8 of his attempts for a -1 yards with the interceptions and 4 sacks when pressured. And in the red zone, he completed 2 out of 9 attempts for 7 yards and interception. Not to mention his inefficient performance a week ago against the Commanders, which was a rebound fourth quarter in a game-winning moon ball to Mike Williams. But Wilson couldn't do the same against a statistically weaker Ravens defense, and very concerning. Another concern of mine of the Steelers was not getting enough from the Steelers wide receivers against quote unquote the league's worst pass defense. Receivers not named George Pickens struggled to get open. Pickens led all receivers with 8 catches on 12 targets for 89 yards, but the rest of the receivers combined for 2 catches on 4 targets for 3 yards. At halftime, the Steelers had just 52 net passing yards. So overall, to sum up everything I said, overall this game was chippy and a very fortunate win by the Steelers, but it's still some concerns for both teams.
Oh, so that was a good analysis. You know, that was real good. Yeah, go and give it to him. Give it to him. Yeah. All right, shut up. So here's my take from that game. So let's talk about Baltimore. To me, in watching that game, it wasn't about what Pittsburgh done. It was about more what Baltimore didn't do. For instance, again, you alluded to Justin Tucker's 2 missed field goals, taking 6 points off the board. He makes one of those field goals, and the game goes exactly the way it did. We're not even having this discussion. In my opinion, I mean, Justin Tucker been a Raven since 2012, undrafted free agent, arguably the best kicker in the game. Sometimes he was the Ravens' offense. I give him a pass, just based off everything that he done. All right, so let's talk about a little bit before halftime. Get the ball back. We're inside our own territory. We're deep in our territory. By that time, the score is 7-6 or something like that. Something like this. It was really close.
I think 9-7.
9-7. That's what it was. It was a curly number, and as opposed to just sitting on the ball, taking the lead in the half. Todd Monken, this is where I get frustrated with Todd. It's like I can praise him when he does good, and I can also criticize him when he does not so good. In that moment against that defense, as aggressive as they are, as aggressive as they've been throughout the game, you decided to try to sneak in some points. No. That's not what we do. We sit on the ball and go into the half. Well, that turnover by one Patrick Queen, who actually showed up to play that game. I don't know where he was the rest of the season, but he showed up for that game. And I get why he did. You know, all week and all off season, they don't want me. They didn't want me. And, you know, he had to show up for that game. So, kudos to Patrick Queen. Give respect to where it is, because his name is fitting. It's Patrick Queen. But we ain't going to talk about that right now. Tucker missed the field goals. Ravens run the game. Derrick Henry was not even in the game in the fourth quarter.
Nope, 0 touches.
How do you sign an all-world running back? We haven't seen a running back like that since Adrian Peterson. How do you sign him in the offseason? Went after him to trade for him in the regular season, which y'all already know the history. Baltimore and Tennessee, they won't finna let that happen. So we signed him as a free agent. You do that, you're not that far off in the game. In the third quarter, he broke one off for 36 yards. He was just getting warmed up. Everybody knows once the fourth quarter hit, that's Derrick Henry time. Because by that time, he's gotten warmed up. And it's going to be kind of hard to stop all that. I mean, kudos to Minka Fitzpatrick for a shoestring tackle, reminiscent of, I want to say, the AFC divisional round, Pittsburgh versus Indianapolis, when Big Ben Roethlisberger threw a pick at the goal line. No. What's his face? The bus fumbled.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And they was finna run it back, and Ben just happened to extend his arm. Shoestring tackle. That saved that game and saved their season. So big kudos to Minka Fitzpatrick, Patrick Queen, and others. I'm going to talk about John Horribaugh for a minute. I don't know what it is. Don't know what it is about John Horribaugh. About a few years ago, we had the top 5 head coaches. You stared me down.
I did.
You stared me down, saying that John Harbaugh is the top coach. I refuse to let John Harbaugh live with that Super Bowl win. I refuse to let him do that. He did not win that on his own.
Sure didn't.
That Super Bowl win, I'll be the first one to tell you that Super Bowl win came because Ray said it was his last ride. And and that team galvanized and did whatever they could to send him out as a champion. Rightfully so. I get that. That was not John Harbaugh. For the past 5 to 7 years, I've been advocating for John Harbaugh to get fired.
Good God Almighty, but that's deep right there.
And Sunday made my case. I don't know what it is about Mike Tomlin. Don't know what it is about Andy Reid, but for some reason, John Harbaugh looked like a deer in the headlights. We was coming from Winterville. Shout out to Winterville. Last Saturday, and we was coming down Highway 43, coming back down here, and I saw a nice buck getting ready to cross the road, and then he turned and looked at the car, and I saw that look. Deer in the headlights. That's John Harbaugh. Always falling asleep on the job. Don't understand why you don't put your foot in these coordinators you got. Now, let me talk about Zach Orr and that defense. This is why I'm not really mad about that loss. So that's the offense. Offense, they wet the bed, peed on themselves, dookied on themselves. They did all that.
Hey, the defense played good.
The defense, though.
Defense came to play.
This was the most inspiring game I've ever seen. I'm not one for moral victories, but I will take this moral victory simply because the Ravens' much maligned secondary did not give up a touchdown the entire game.
That's true.
Even when the Steelers were threatening, they did not give up a touchdown. And I'm sitting back and I'm holding my son. He was asleep, so I couldn't yell like I wanted to. So I was like, wow. Because I ain't want to, it was his nap time, and I ain't want to wake him up.
Yeah. You know you have to pay for that.
Yes, sir. See, let me tell you something about nappy time. It is a blessed time in the house of Parker. Let me tell you something now. But when he get up, he's up now.
All right.
But just to see Marlon Humphrey, and big shout out to Kyle Hamilton, because they moved him, and big shout out to Ardarius Washington as well. They put Kyle Hamilton at deep safety alongside Ardarius Washington, so it was strong safety, free safety, respectively, if that even really matters. And big kudos to that secondary. So that's why I'm not even mad. Even in the pick'em, if y'all are in the football pool, mind you, let me press pause for a second. Y'all know them picks go in Thursday, but at 7 p.m. of course. I did the Steelers to win that game, even though I gave the keys to the Ravens to win. They did not follow none of them. I had already made up my mind the Steelers was going to win that game because you had the field formerly known as Heinz Field. It's a raucous environment. Already know. You already know.
Come on now.
So, big shout out to the secondary. Big shout out to Zachary Orr, the defensive coordinator, for calling basically a masterful game, because the only thing Russell Wilson had was the underneath throws, and he was dicing them up with the underneath throws. That's what got him into scoring position with the field goal. Chris Boswell, that man, y'all, hey, ice that leg down, sir. I gotta give credit where credit is due, simply because he made every last single one of his kicks straight down the middle. And I look at Justin Tucker. He need to leave that Royal Farms chicken alone. He needs. I mean, I know they paying him to talk about it, but he might need to fall back and work on that leg. But
He had an excuse. He had a whole excuse.
I mean, granted, a lot of opposing teams have said that the field formerly known as Heinz Field is kind of difficult to kick in. But I'm looking at the Pittsburgh kicker. He's perfect on the day. I mean, yeah, that's his field. You know, he's only there 8-9 times out the year, so he got a pretty good feel of how that field is. I looked up the stats, and Justin Tucker has been really good kicking the ball in that stadium. So it's not the field.
Yeah, I was about to say it can't be.
It's not the field. This is an all-pro kicker. You don't get too many all-pro kickers.
Every stadium there is.
I've seen this man. Let me tell you something. I've seen this dude do wonderful things. I see them hit a 61-yarder to win the game. I've seen them hit a 67-yarder.
I was about to say, yeah,
to hit the game in the same building. Mm-hmm. So that excuse for the field not being adequate, no. It's just time.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
it's just time. You've been with us 12 years. I mean, undrafted Hall of Famer. I can't even get mad at you. I can't even get mad at the fact that he lost kicks. I actually called him missing them 2 kicks back to back. But yeah, big shout out to Mike Tomlin. He had those boys ready to play. I can't hold you. I mean, I seen the time about a few years ago. There's a lot of Steelers constituents was ready to fire Mike Tomlin. Y'all be. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, not. You know what I'm talking about. You know, it's somebody.
I know what you're talking about.
You know, it was a lot of them calling for his head. I'm tired of going 9-8. I'm in the Super Bowl. He ain't want to play all games since. You know, they was going after him, and I'm like, why?
I don't get it. Black people at its finest.
You know what I'm saying? Mike Tomlin is a true leader of men. I have to give him his credit. He's a true leader of men. But yeah, I mean, big shout out to the Steelers. I mean, I could go. You pretty much was all in my notes. But I do have a couple other things. So let's talk about possible resolutions for success for both teams. Start with Baltimore. You need to improve ball security. Let's talk about that Peyton Wilson play.
That was great.
That was one of the weirdest plays ever, but I mean the most physical gonna win the ball anyway. You gotta reduce turnovers. That go without saying. Discipline. You gotta discipline yourself. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the yellow people. You got to play like you got some sense.
Hey man, there ain't the yellow people. Hey, that's you get to me every time. You ain't gotta call us that, man. Come on now.
It wouldn't even be right if I was slightly disrespectful. you I mean, yeah, it's a high intense, high emotion game. And I'm gonna be quite honest, as a Ravens fan, the Steelers been skull. I ain't gonna say skull dragging because that consists of a few blowouts. I mean, yeah, we've been letting the Steelers off the hook here lately. And 9 times out of 10 in those games, it's the Ravens beating themselves just by committing stupid penalties. Makari. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. That when that screenplay to Derrick Henry and Makari was in the ineligible man downfield. I think that penalty as a whole across the scale of the NFL, I think that's one of the most ticky-tack plays ever. Because at the end of the day, if you're engaging with the defense, either you're going to get pulled or you're going to pull him. That's football.
Was that the one towards the sideline on the right-hand side when
Lamar completed it to Derrick Henry? Because I think it was like, I wouldn't say it was 3rd and long, and it was supposed to be the first down to Derrick Henry, but it got called back because of the eligible man downfield. What's like, I can reiterate, that's one that one should be abolished. I'm sorry, because that's tough. Because I've seen a lot of teams lately suffer at the hands of that penalty. I mean, again, if you engage and you're an offensive lineman engaging with a defensive lineman, that's football. And another one for Baltimore Ravens. Special teams. Justin Tucker, I don't want to say he's washed, but the washing machine is on. And it's starting to fill up. Enough said.
Yep.
And offensive adjustments. You got to take what the defense give you. You got to keep the defense on their toes. That 2-point play at the end of the game, again, I called it. Tomlin called it. That's why he called timeout.
Yep.
That was the time where you have a 300-pound fullback and a 260-pound running back. That was the time. Now, had we did that and did not get it, GG's. I mean, that's it. But we called it.
Henry wasn't even in the game.
Was not in the game at all in the fourth quarter. That is a travesty and a shame and a scandal.
And the crazy thing is, I was watching the game. My bad, but I was watching the game and they were showing Derrick Henry on the bench. I was like, when did Derrick Henry get on the bench?
He got put on the bench because he fumbled in the first quarter. John, let me tell you about John Harbaugh. That's what I'm ready to get rid of him. See, he got this doghouse. If you fumble on his team, he takes you. He don't care who you are. He takes you out the game. I think that's the stupidest.
Second play of the game, though. This is third. This is doggone fourth quarter.
Exactly.
I mean, forget. I mean,
exactly.
And we didn't even in the defense. And I thank God that we did win, but I'm just saying the fumble happened with Derrick Henry at the second play of the game, and the defense still forced the field goal. So you broke even either way. You was in the game either way. So
John, again, you have John Harbaugh, who you stare at me now. Boy, we argued about that for 30 minutes after the show.
I mean,
John Harbaugh he's one of the worst game time strategists in the NFL, in my opinion. So if you in the comments, please don't come at me about John Harbaugh. He's the worst when it comes down to game time decisions and when it comes down to adjustments.
They want Bill Belichick out there.
But now let me tell you about that there. I've been on the campaign. I've been on the campaign since September 5th, 2024.
The last thing,
Belichick 25.
The last thing, if you don't mind, that I want to mention that I found interesting is that, okay, Baltimore has lost 4 games this season in wins. And this has really nothing to do with Derrick Henry, but it has something to do with Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, like Fonz said, why did you should have let him go to the Cowboys if y'all ain't gonna use him?
That's what I say.
Again, I'll take the win, and I'm thankful for it. But at the same time, this is a bad look for Todd Monken.
Horrible.
Because in wins, Henry touches now. Not to mention Henry has scored a touchdown in every game this season.
Every one of them.
Every game. In wins of the Baltimore Ravens, Henry has had 21.4 carries in that game.
Only 13 this game.
In losses, he has 14.3 carries in losses. I say all that to say this is the same squad. This is the same offensive coordinator that took y'all to that. Y'all went to the AFC Championship game and only ran the ball a total of 6 times. And now you have Derrick Henry, who is a beast, Hall of Famer. I mean, probably the best running back in the game outside of Christian McCaffrey, which we don't know what he looked like no more. But nevertheless,
C-Mac needs time.
You gotta use Derrick Henry. Why wouldn't you?
I can answer that question real well. So let me go back. let me allude back to what I was talking about. John Harbaugh has this proverbial doghouse where when you screw up on that team, he will bench you. Now, he benched daggone Eddie Jackson and Marcus Williams. That was justified. Not gonna lie. That was justified. But you bench probably the second best offensive weapon you got in a game like that.
Yeah. I think that is y'all best offensive player. I mean, that's the bread and butter of the offense.
Because if as he goes, that's how everything goes. Because you continuously punish the defense with Derrick Henry. What the defense going to do? They're going to start stacking the box. And what happens when they start stacking the box?
The paths open up.
The passing game opens up tremendous. Oh my God, it opens up tremendously. And speaking of Lamar Jackson, he made me upset because I seen on at least 3 plays on Sunday where there was a clear running lane to get a first down. At least. He opts to throw it. And I'm like, bro, why are you hindering yourself? I get it.
I don't understand what's going on in Baltimore. I mean, we know anytime that Lamar has to more throwing plays than run plays, it's not going to be a good game, especially against Steve Spagnuolo or Pittsburgh. It's just not going to be good.
Never has been.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And that's not saying that Lamar can't throw the ball. He's shown improvement with throwing the football. But the bread and butter of the Ravens offense comes from that run game. And I thought this was the whole reason why y'all signed Derrick Henry, was to straight demolish teams and torture teams with Derrick Henry. Y'all got the doggone atomic bomb, and y'all ain't bombing no damn body. Excuse my language.
And when we bomb them, we leave it bombed and depleted.
But hey,
in some games, they scared to push the button.
Push the button. I don't know, but hey, that ain't none of my business. Pittsburgh, this was a very fortunate win. Very fortunate win. Like I said in my notes, I don't know whether this was just a bad game, one of them physical games where you got to do what you got to do to win, but our offense got to be better. Offense is still a question. Yes, I think we got a solid, okay quarterback in Russell Wilson, but the receiver, the play calling has to be better when it comes down to that air attack. It got to be better. It got it's something missing there. You taste your food and you know what you need some doggone salt and pepper in it, or some more seasoning salt.
The Lowry's.
I'm trying to tell you, taste your food and see what you got. Because we barely made it out of our own house Sunday, but I'll take it. But
a win's a win at the end of the day. Big shout out to Adafi Owe. I don't even know why I didn't even mention Adafi. He was Russell Wilson was getting tossed around Sunday. I ain't even gonna front. I ain't even gonna hold you like that. Big shout out to that guy, recorded 3 sacks, which that's huge to me because I've been concerned about that pass rush since AFC Championship game. But yeah, y'all got it. We got one more round to go. Sunday, December 21st, or whatever day the 21st is on, and we'll see what it is.
Yeah, well,
I'm just concerned about y'all a little bit though, because y'all got to go to Cleveland on a short week, and y'all really played your hearts out on Sunday.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I was concerned about this game most of all because we already won 4 games prior to this, and nobody's streaking anymore. And thank God Kansas lost. Nobody's streaking anymore. But it's just hard to win week by week.
It is.
And my message to Pittsburgh is don't take them for granted. I'm trying to tell you something good because, like you said, we're on a short week. We got some injuries out there that we may not want to rush back. Honestly, I wouldn't, bring back Alex Highsmith quite yet. Just play your healthy players and see what you got. But don't think this is going to be just a blow-by win and you're just going to get the 9-2 easily. I think it's going to be another competitive divisional game. Hopefully nobody get hits with a helmet. And I still got PTSD from that. But and hopefully we can come out with a win. But
Mason Rudolph ain't been the same.
that's what I'm trying to say. not the shiny little nose off his head, boy. I'm trying
No,
to tell
cold
you.
cocked him, as the old folks say.
Tell you, but don't take Cleveland for granted. They still got a great defense, and it's divisional. And divisional games is just like we seen this past Sunday between the Steelers and the Ravens. It's gonna be chippy. It's gonna be a lot of flags thrown. Gonna be just a lot of stuff going on. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lost. In other words, but
yeah.
Now I don't know. I don't know.
It's and my final thought is it's weird that Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson had similar games. That's crazy. Lamar 16 for 33 for 207, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Russell Wilson 18 for 30, 205, 1 pick. That's to sum it all up, that is AFC North football in a nutshell. They're going to be close. They're going to be chippy.
The difference maker was them turnovers.
The difference, honestly, the difference maker was the missed field goals, in my opinion.
That too, but I mean, if we're saying that, then we're pretty much saying if the Steelers would have scored on one of those red zone drives, that probably could have been good. That probably would have sealed the game right there. I get what you're saying. Trust me. But I'm just saying, if we could have at least scored on one of those, we was in the red zone 5 times, we would have scored at least 1 touchdown.
Right. But see, the reason why I'd say the field goals are a lot more damaging than the turnovers is simply because both of those missed field goals put y'all in great field position. That was a field position game, regardless.
Oh, I was going to be long.
The first one was missed from 47. The second one was missed from 50.
Mm-hmm.
So that really kind of set y'all up to get in that scoring position because honestly, you only had like 15, 20 yards to get in your kicker's range.
Right, exactly.
It is what it is.
But
like I said, it's round two's coming.
I feel like if you gave Baltimore 3 turnovers, y'all probably would have won. And I mean, with the pick in the end zone, with the forcible pick with Peyton Wilson, not including the fumbles. I mean, I'm not even counting the Derrick Henry fumble. I'm counting the one with Likely that Patrick Queen pretty much just stripped it out of his hand. Ball security in Baltimore is probably going. Y'all need to do that doggone drill y'all did when I seen y'all on the reel with the water hose and y'all trying to get the ball and stuff. Y'all need to do.
We did it. Hey, don't worry. Don't worry. They need to. Honestly, they need to have practice like back in the day. Carry the ball to take a lick, or the defense or the practice squad defense try to strip it from them. That's the best way to try to remedy, or at least I ain't gonna say alleviate, but diminish that situation.
Yeah.
But comment section, let us know what you think. Let us know what you thought about the game. If you're a Steelers fan, hit us up. If you're a Ravens fan, hit us up. Please keep it classy. This is rivalry. I get it. It's been a dead rivalry for a few years. You know what I'm saying? Ravens, at least we swept the Bengals. At least we swept them. I'm just saying, hemorrhaging yards and swept them. That's what made it bad. But let us know in the comments what y'all think about that game. And again, thank y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please, people, I know y'all seen it. I make sure I flash on the screen when those picks are due, but I'm gonna go ahead and remind you again. It's a friendly reminder. Please put those picks in by 7 p.m. if you're gonna be in the pool. And if you're in the neighborhood, please go to the Backport Sports Podcast War Room. Mm-hmm. You go ahead, just sign up in our group, and we'll let you in there. One of us will let you in there. Mm-hmm. Bro, you got anything you want to add?
Not at all, man. Not at all.
All right, we're going to go ahead and just mosey on out of here. I'm going to go in my little corner here and, and reanalyze this whole thing. And, you go spend your $100. Put it in savings. You might need it for gas or something, Well, we're going to go ahead and get hey, you might want to send it to the Cowboys. But anyway, we're going to go.
I'm trying to tell you, the Panthers won. One of them.
Hey.
Somebody needed to.
I can call them the Panthers now because they strung together a couple of wins, but I got to come up with a new nickname for the Cowboys.
I got enough to put some paint on the field and maybe get the grass cut. Don't know. Depending on how much you charge.
Yeah, I mean, I keep it. Hey, I put the stripes on the field for you. Look, I dust off the goalposts and stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, comments. Let us know what's a good nickname for the Cowboys. You know, because cowgirls is so overused. I need something that's going to make me chuckle every time I say it. So, but we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, yo. So this has been the #1 show in the world, the universe, everywhere. The Backport Sports Podcast with your man Fonz
and Quan.
And we out.
Deuces.